Yeah. So my hope is you see this thumbnail, and when you click on the video, you come into the video and you find out what we're talking about, which is business education, right? Well, what does that actually mean? So I went and I did some research.
Did you?
I did.
That'll be it.
Just for you.
Well done. Thanks. Because I didn't do any research.
No, just fly by night. So
Not entirely true, but anyway.
So this is a survey that was done of 2,963 participants across South Africa, entrepreneurs and business owners. And it says 71% never or rarely attend entrepreneur events. But this
71% of those 2,900 odd business owners and entrepreneurs never attend an entrepreneur event.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
But then we've got 68% of those people surveyed said they cannot afford more than 5,000 rand a year for training.
Wow.
A year.
Wow. But I bet you if they were going to get a degree, they would find 5,000 rand or more.
Interesting. So, for those of you who've never seen
69%.
68.
68% can't afford more than 5,000 rand a year.
Yeah.
Wow. For training.
For those of you who don't know who we are,
They can't afford it, they don't value it. That's fascinating. But anyway.
You've never seen us. We've just landed on your feed. Welcome to the Uncovering Greatness podcast. I am your host, Sully, and today I am joined by your favorite facilitator's favorite facilitator. They'll never tell you that, but you'll see it in the content. Mr. Barry Mitchell.
Hey, and those of you that do join us on this podcast and are not new, and we're not new in your feed, welcome back.
I was going to say that to me.
I know you were. I was going to say it first.
How are you?
Anyway.
How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. I am, in fact, I'm very good today.
So, we came up with this idea for this topic on Friday, and I was super pumped about it because 3 or 4 weeks ago, I think it was, at our last entrepreneur hangout, you were speaking about how much you've invested in your business education, right? And when we speak business education, we're speaking about going to seminars, we're speaking about reading books, we're doing courses around mentors, coaches, all those types of things. And your rough estimate was about 2 million rand.
Yeah.
In the time that you've had Uncovering Greatness, which is 19.
Yeah. So in 19 years, I mean, I bought a franchise, which I put over $100,000 in so that I could learn from Blair Singer. That's why I bought the franchise.
Oh yeah. That's the first investment.
And at that stage, I think the exchange rate was 10 to 1. I mean, that's a million plus rand.
To get you to where you are today.
Well, so I went to an event in Phoenix, Arizona. That event, which was a 2-day sales explosion, which is the sales explosion I teach today, and a 5-day ultimate personal development program, which is at Uncovering Greatness. We call it the ultimate greatness experience. Those 7 days dramatically changed my life, and I said, I want to learn to do what this guy does. And that guy was Blair Singer, author of Little Voice Mastery, Sales Dogs,
Team Code of Honor,
and Robert Kiyosaki's longest standing Rich Dad advisor. And I just said, I want to learn to do what this guy does. And in order for me to learn from him, the only way I could do it was I had to buy a franchise. So I bought a franchise. And that was my start in investing. Really in investing, learning how to teach, train, build, take my businesses to other levels.
And I mean, when you made that 100,000 rand investment, Blair said, $100,000 investment.
Yeah.
Blair said to you, Barry, once you do this, you're going to have Uncovering Greatness, an amazing business.
No, there's no guarantee. What he said is that what it'll allow you to do, it'll allow you to help people change their lives, and in the journey of learning you'll dramatically change your life. There was no guarantee like when you finished and in 5 years time you're going to be able to make X amount of money, you're going to be guaranteed this. It was, I'll teach you what I know and you've got to apply it.
Yeah.
So
this number for me is the thing that really stuck out. The 5,000 Rand a year for training that South African business owners and entrepreneurs can't afford. But you've had some clients for 19 years.
But sorry, the same people with, I don't know, I mean, I'll take you back. I can remember years ago, Jeremy Clarkson came out here and did a show. The Top Gear show, not when he drove through Zim and Zambia. Before that, years ago, he came out and did a show here. And I don't know, I think the ticket price was 1,500 Rand or something for a ticket.
Mm-hmm.
I can remember selling Sales Explosion and talking to a guy, and he was like, I really need to learn how to sell. And I said, okay. And at that stage, I think we were selling Sales Explosion for sort of 4,000 or 5,000 Rand. And he said, I can't afford it. I was like, why? No, I don't have any money, da-da-da-da-da. And I was like, okay, I understand. And I took him through, I wasn't going to pay. And then what I see, 2 weeks later, who's that Jeremy Clarkson with his wife, his family, his kids? That dude must have dropped 10 grand. It's not that he couldn't afford it, it's that he just didn't value personal development and self-education. So does that make sense? So when you say people can't afford it, I go, okay, I get some people can't afford it. But in my experience, many people don't value it. So because they'll go do other things. They'll go watch rugby, there's a whole lot of stuff that they're doing. They're buying you a TV, they'll do a whole lot of stuff. But they don't, it's the value in personal education.
Why do you think that people don't see or find value in personal education?
Because you have to apply it. You know, what happens is in the business world and in the corporate world, you get a certificate and you go to a course and someone will promote you based on your level of, I call it schooling.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you go get an MBA, and I'm not downplaying an MBA, but you go get an MBA, and that'll set you up to be promoted.
Yeah.
And whereas as a business owner and entrepreneur, no one's going to promote me, Subi. I'm not hanging around waiting for someone to promote me, to pay me more money because I have a certificate. I have to take the learning that I get out of a room working with somebody and apply it. And you know, and I think that's one of the things that stops lots of people is they want this, what's my guarantee that I'm going to make money? There's no freaking guarantee. Your guarantee is, how are you going to apply it? I mean, that's why in all our courses, we have a guarantee. My guarantee is, if you apply what I teach you in the Sales Explosion program, you will dramatically increase your income. But you have to apply it. And that, I think that's the hard part, because our education system in this world is so driven on information and so driven on having a certificate and showing people that I went to a course and I have a certificate. Well, what does that mean? That means I went to a course and I got a certificate.
You were there. Doesn't mean it.
Even if I had to write a test, what that means is I went to a course, I can memorize what the trainer taught me, and I got a certificate because I passed. Great, well done. Does it even mean you can apply it?
Do you think, in your experience, do you think trainers care about that? You know, if people come into their rooms or their events or whatever, do you think they care if you apply it or not?
Well, that's an interesting question. I think many trainers train from the perspective that they really want to see people succeed.
Mm-hmm.
But again, it's up to those people to then apply what they apply.
Yeah.
You know, in our world, you'll know, I've turned people away from our programs because I've known them and they've been in our world for long enough that I've been able to say to them, you didn't apply what you learned in the last course. Go and apply that. When you apply that, then you can come on this course. You know, because it's about application.
That's an interesting one.
So like your return on investment will come from application and how you apply the information.
Yeah, and I mean, you always say in Sales Explosion, you'll make more. If you apply it, you can make more money in the event.
Well, I mean, in Sales Explosion, we don't just teach people how to sell. We give them the opportunity to sell. And when you're in the room, you put into application the information that I'm giving you.
Yeah.
And it's up to you. I mean, you've seen it. We've seen people make millions in a room in 15 minutes.
So that's some hours.
You saw a guy sell a house in the room on the phone. You saw a guy sell a container of footwear that he hadn't been able to sell for 24 months in Nairobi in Kenya. In 12 minutes, a room of 90 people did 90 million rand on the phone in sales, because it's the application. And when those people leave, they've experienced what it is to get on the phone and make real deals. Even then, it's up to them to go and apply it.
Yeah, because it's consistent, right? It's not something that, okay, cool, I've experienced it, I know what it's like, so if I need to go back to that feeling or that moment, I can.
Yeah.
But it's more about doing it every day, because every day the experience will change, no?
Well, and your experience gets better, and the more you apply it, the more you learn and go from there. So you don't need to. Yes, you need to understand the information. I mean, when I explain education in today's modern world, sadly, equals information. And in my book, Salesman's Journey,
Yeah.
my favorite chapter is Smart, Stupid People. Because you have highly informed, what I deem, there's many highly informed, stupid people. They can tell you lots about lots of things. They've researched lots of stuff. They've been to courses. They've passed shit, and they can't apply it. So they'll deem themselves to be highly educated. And you hear this on, you hear this on YouTube. You hear it on radio stations. That how could that person succeed and they have no education? No, what they have is they have application.
Yeah.
Just because you have a certificate to your name, or you can pass some exams, doesn't mean you can apply it. Because that's the real skill. The real skill, especially in business. You want to be a good entrepreneur. Your success comes from application, it comes from applying. And more you apply, the more you learn, because you make mistakes and you learn, and you make mistakes and you learn, and you get up and you do it again. So education in today's world largely equals information. We have highly informed, stupid people. Because, and my observation is this, because people don't take that information and put it through a process of application, because it's in the process of applying it day in and day out and day in and day out that we create change. And real education should create transformation. It should be transformational, not informational. And that's where, for me, business education is key, is that you should see it transform the people that you're educating.
Yeah.
Through continuous application. So I've been in many training courses where I'm teaching and training people, and I will look and I will see the people that just regurgitate the information back to me, but are not applying it. And then I'll see other people. How do you know they're applying it? Because they're getting better in their jobs. They're getting better in sales. They're getting better in management. They're getting better results over a period of time.
They just talk better even. They communicate better.
They communicate better, and they are transforming, not inform.
I mean, I think it was the last Ignite Your Sales, we had somebody, a gentleman named Desmond, who had come to Sales Explosion.
Yeah.
And his feedback was, he literally went from being after Sales Explosion, he went from being an employee to realizing that he can run his own business, and actually started implementing to start running his own business.
100%.
I was like, man, that is such a game changer, because there was 20 plus people in the room.
Yep.
But every single person experienced something different and took away something different. And I think that's, for me, that's where I'm like, it's the big difference between, I always get it with this word, experiential training and your traditional event training.
Yeah. So you and I we can get a PowerPoint with 27 bullet points on how to be good at closing.
Cool.
Okay, good. So we go through that, and the trainer explains it to us, and then we write a test. And the trainer says, what are the 27 bullet points, and explain each one. You and I could list down the 27 bullet points. We both explain them to the trainer's satisfaction, and we both get 100%.
Yeah.
Great. What does that mean? Both of us can close? Or means both of us know the 27 bullet points and how to explain how to close.
Yeah, we have that. We have the information on how to close.
What now we're informed how to close. But now you have to take it into the application stage. The first part of application becomes practice. Okay, so you start practicing it.
So you don't just go out and start going crazy.
Well, you can. And that's fine. That's how I started selling. I started selling. I was like, my coach and mentor, my person that was training me said, go do this. I was like, okay, I'm going to do it. I went out, tried it. It sucked. I tried it again, went back to him. And then I practiced. Then I went back. And over time, I got better. It's what happens in sport. You want to take up golf. You go get a coach. The coach tells you. Then the coach says, go play. And you go play your first game, you suck. And then you go back to your coach. And then you play the next game and you suck a little bit less. And over time, you pick up the game of golf as long as you practice. And education is no different. So we have this, I think we have this blockage when it comes to education that people want to know. I have people that come to an event and go, do I get a certificate at your sales explosion? I go, no. And they go, but I need a certificate so that I can show people I can sell. I go, how does a certificate show you can sell? What a certificate shows you shows the person is you went on a course. Yeah. It doesn't show you can sell. What shows you can sell is the change in your bank balance, the change in your results, the change in your closing rate, the change in your ability to generate more income. Because it's taking that information and then applying it, starting to do the physical side of it. And when you're doing the physical side of it, you hit the emotional side of it because it doesn't work. And then it doesn't work like you expected. Then there's things that you didn't realize. And that grows your emotional level. That increases your emotional intelligence. And you go back and you practice and then you apply. And that's experiential learning. In our rooms, what we create is we create an experience. How do you learn to fly?
Simulation.
Yeah, so pilots start doing their PPLs, they start flying, they fly with an instructor, but at some stage you get into a simulator. And I have some friends that fly for some of the big airlines. And they spend a lot of time in simulators. They simulate different things and they do it again and again and again. So they're practicing the real experience. And so that when or if it does happen, they've already done it. Because they're not going to get in a plane and go, okay, we're going to switch off all the engines, and go into a deep dive and see what happens. So they do that so that their habitual behavior automatically kicks in because of the experience that they've practiced so often. That for me is experiential education. So in sales, you experience getting on the phone. And the first form of experience is practice.
You know what? I was chuckling while you were speaking because I was just thinking about it from the perspective of like a surgeon. You go, you do 7, 8, 9, however many years you need to do.
Way too long for me.
A medical school, that I'd be done in year 1. But you go, you do all of that. Once you get your degree, nobody again goes, okay, here's your first surgery. Now operate on this person.
No.
You operate on cadavers. You operate exactly like you're saying about pilots.
Because if you cuff the wrong thing for the wrong live person, then you're in a cock.
Now you end with scissor handsing somebody. But it's so
or scissor something else. Very upset with you.
Transitions here. And that's the thing. It's like, why don't people think about business and sales exactly the same? And even anything that like mindsets even, because you have to practice those things because it's consistent. It's all the time.
Because we can get into business and sales too easy.
Ooh, talk to me. Tell me about that.
You want to start a business. You start a business, Suli.
Okay.
You go register it. You start a business. You get what's the?
Oh well, yeah, it's the same, right? You have a registered business. You got the paper to prove. I'm a business owner.
You want to start another business tomorrow? You can start another business. You go, you register the business, your legal entity, you're in.
Yeah.
Who's telling you can't?
Nobody.
Your customers will tell you can't because you suck at sales, for example. But you start a business, so there's no. Whereas you can't be a surgeon unless you become a surgeon.
Yeah.
You can't be you can't be an accountant unless you become an accountant. You have to go through the school system. You have to practice all that sort of stuff. But you have great surgeons, you have good surgeons, you have bad surgeons, you have great surgeons, just like you have good accountants, bad accountants, and it comes down to their ability to apply what they've learned. That does that make sense?
Yeah.
I mean, I work with some accountants that have incredible knowledge around accounting, but can't make money for themselves, for example. So their understanding of accounting is different to the application of making money. So, what my take is, You want to start a business, especially that's why living in South Africa and Africa is such a wonderful friggin' opportunity. In other parts of the world, in Australia and places like that, there's a lot more regulations around business. But here, what a friggin' opportunity. And that's the hard part. If someone decides, I'll start a business, what's your business? I have a business. Tell me what you want me to do. That's not a business, but people think they start a business because they register a business.
Yeah.
Well, it's not a business. So I think the barriers to entry are so low that you become a business owner. And then the mindset is, well, I have a business now. Where's my money? What do you mean, where's your friggin' money? You have a registered business. You've registered a business. Now you have to go do the things that are needed to be done to make money in business. The first thing is sales.
I feel like what you're saying there, so it's exactly the same as, when people come out of varsity with a degree. I've got a degree, now give me a job.
Yeah, where's my job?
Like, what do you mean? What have you done? Like, you don't have any experience, you have nothing. You technically can't even sell yourself into this position. You just think that because you've got this degree, you're supposed to.
No, get the job. Must give me a job.
Okay, I could give you a job. It's probably not going to be the one that relates to your degree at all. But you're not going to like that.
So now so you have a degree, now you've got to get a job, so you create experience, and the more and the quicker and the more effectively you apply what you've learned, the quicker you grow. Mm-hmm. The less effectively you apply it, the longer it takes you to apply it, the less you grow in your business. And the less you grow in your job. Business is no different. Yeah. Sales is the same. What stops? You and I can go sell anything. We can. Go out today, I can find someone I can go sell. What's stopping me? No one's saying, where's your degree in sales? No. Does that make sense? What's stopping me is my ability to apply sales. What's stopping me is I go out and I go, okay, that didn't work. How am I learning? What do I need to change? What do I need to change in how I apply? Not what I did a course last week on sales and I got a certificate. Well, then what? Next week I'm still sitting on my friggin' lazy ass, sitting on my couch, waiting for money to come because I'm not applying it. I passed the course. I passed the 29 questions. I got a certificate. Yep. Someone even told my boss, whoa, he passed the course. And then what? I still suck. Yeah. Because I'm not applying it. And for me, I think, go back to your first question, what stops people in business education? They don't apply it. And there's no, here's the next step. If you come on the course and you do this, then you will get this. No. Whereas in the working environment, I think it's a lot more structured. If I go on this and I get this degree or I get this diploma or I get this, I can see the career trajectory.
Look, yeah.
That's your business. There's no career trajectory. No one's turning around to me saying, hey, dude, well done. Here's on a course. None of my clients are going to phone me up and say, hey, Barry, well done. Bring us your certificate. We'll pay you 10% more.
What a dream that would be.
Yeah, but they're not going to do that.
No.
I went on a course with Blair Singer or with Robert Kiyosaki or, da-da-da-da-da. And they're like, well done.
How was it? Did you enjoy it?
They don't go, oh, well, dude, we must pay you more now. It's up to me to apply what I learned to extract more value. And if I apply what I learned and I grow, then I'll extract more value. If I don't, well...
Do you think that society and the world has romanticized being an entrepreneur and being a business owner? Because like we were speaking about it off air the other day, we always speak about the extremes, right? You speak about the Musks, the Bezos, you speak about those guys who have done things that probably
unicorns.
Yeah, there we go. That's the word. Unicorns.
They're rocking horse shit.
We don't speak about
it's about as hard as finding rocking horse blue.
Exactly. They more rare than anything else.
They are rare.
People look at that and go, well, I want to have that and do that. Therefore, I'm going to start this business. I'm going to do that, and then they don't get that.
It's fantasy, silly.
It's impossible.
It's unrealistic stuff to start off with.
Yeah.
Instead of actually starting off with saying, I have nothing. How do I make 10 grand? How do I make 20 grand? How do I make 30 grand? How do I grow? So I think social media and all the, I call it all the bullshit that people spout on social media.
Yeah.
Creates this false sense of, if I just start a business, that's what I'm going to be because I have a great idea and money's going to come. It's not. It's damn friggin' hard. There's certain principles that you have to abide by. There's a process that you have to learn and apply, and it takes time.
Yeah.
It's depending on how successful you want to be at what stage, depends on how well you can apply at what level of transformation you can create, what baseline you start off with, and where you want to go to. And the hard part in business, it starts off relying on you.
Yeah.
Read a book, apply it.
Yeah.
You know, that's why in a salesman's journey, that's why I say to people, read this book, go and apply it, read it again, and apply more, and apply more. Yeah, because it's the application. It's not the information. It's taking you can read a chapter, go and apply it, come back, read the same chapter, and you'll go, oh, I missed that.
Yep.
But you didn't actually miss it. What's happened is you've transformed that the way you read it and the way you see it and the way you interpret it is now different. So now you apply it and get a step better and get a step better and get a step better with exactly the same information.
Yeah. I mean, while you're speaking, I was just thinking about when I started to read the YouTube Formula by Daryl Eves.
Yeah. Cracker book.
Great book. Great book. Really good book. And I think that for me, what was important was understanding that I'm not going to build our thing into a Mr. Beast, right? Because everybody sees YouTube and goes, I'm going to be the next Mr. Beast. But reading that book made me go, you're probably not going to do that because you're going to need to invest your whole entirety into building that. Are you prepared to do that? No. Okay, cool. What do you want to build? Cool. I actually just want to build a YouTube platform that we have that has 1,000 subscribers. That's it.
So let's take that because that's a great example. So you got into the YouTube formula because I read it first.
Yes.
So I read it.
Yeah.
And I read it and I said, hey, but this will friggin' help you.
Yeah.
Yes? Mm-hmm. So I read it and I took some of the information and I applied it a little bit in our business. But I read it and I said, the information in here is great.
Yeah.
Okay. You now took it, you read it as well.
Yeah.
Okay. But the difference is you've increased your level of education because you have now applied the YouTube formula in our business.
Yeah.
I haven't. Okay.
100%.
Why? Because your role is social media.
Yeah.
And advertising and marketing. That's not mine. Mine is sales. So I read it to understand the marketing component so that when you are working on it, I am informed based on what you do, but it doesn't mean I can do it.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
We can have a conversation on the same level.
Because we understand the same 100%. Information around the game.
Yeah.
Okay, but you can play the game. Mm-hmm. Okay, it's like two people in soccer. You're a soccer player, I'm a soccer fan. We understand the game, but when it comes to playing the game, you have way more experience than me because you've been on the field.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? So I wouldn't say that I'm educated in YouTube, but I'm informed because I've read the YouTube formula. So now, does that make sense? That's the fundamental difference. Both you and I could have read the book and been sent a certificate.
Yeah.
Great. And then I would have gone, I know what Sulu knows. I don't, because you now applied it.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? You know the intricacies. You started working through it. You're learning about what works and what doesn't work, and what works for our business and what doesn't work for our business, which means the application that you have utilized has grown you. Whereas I'm still informed. So you can talk to me about Daryl Eves' formula and I'll go, yeah, cool. That's it. How's that happening?
And it's interesting you say that because, I mean, for me, went from reading the book, read, apply, but making sure that I'm getting through the book as well. Joined the group that he has, did the 21-day thing that needs to be done there, then ended up buying the sort of the plugin that he has that connects your YouTube channel to your to his plugin, tracks everything, all of that, was utilizing it, was like, okay, cool, but I need to take this to another level. I could never have done that if I never followed through on the process.
There we go.
Reading the book and applying it. Now I've moved on to something else.
No, I've done none of that.
Yeah, exactly. But the thing is that most people, the way, based off what we're talking about in business education is, okay, cool, I've read the book. Now I know it. I know how YouTube works.
Yeah.
But I'm not doing anything.
100%. And then they'll complain
doesn't work.
that it doesn't work. Because they're not actually looking.
Never applied it.
Yeah, that's why I hear people, I went to that seminar, it doesn't work. It doesn't work or you don't work. Did you apply what you learned there? Did you take a few things out of there and put it into your life?
Yeah. There has to be some, so for example, we've, because we do lead generation and all of that, we know that there are other businesses and companies like ours.
Yes.
Right. So when we then calling these people, somebody might say, I tried to use this X guy before.
Yeah.
And nothing happened. it absolutely sucked.
Yeah.
Obviously for us, that's like, okay, cool. It puts you in this position where it's like, I might have somebody that I could convert into a customer here,
Yeah.
or I could have somebody who's completely and utterly now shut off because they've tried this, it doesn't work. They're just going to do things the way they've always done it, and they're okay with that.
So I think, part of that sort of is, I'm not going to give people outlandish promises because my belief is I will teach you what I've done for 32 years. I will teach you what I've learned in my businesses. I will teach you what's worked for me and what hasn't worked for me. I'll teach you where I've succeeded and failed. I'll teach you the processes and the steps. I'll teach you what I've learned from Blair Singer, Robert Kiyosaki over 19 years of working directly with them and many other mentors that I've had. Okay. But it's up to you to apply it. You've got to apply it and then come back to me and say, hey, can you tweak this? And how did that work? And why? Because we disseminate information and then we apply it in a different way. That's what happens with the business owners who are in my mastermind. I'll teach them stuff that I use and that's highly successful in our business. They'll come back and they'll say, how's it working? They'll say, it's not working. I'll go, why? And their interpretation of what they should have done, how they interpret it is not how I do it. And then I'll have to go, okay, well, there was a misunderstanding. So what happens is, and for me, that's the learning. It's a process.
Yeah.
It keeps going. It's a learning journey. It's not just, oh, I learned 7 steps. I walked out of a course and suddenly I was a multimillionaire. What a lot of crap, man.
Yeah, and it's interesting what you say there, because for as long as I've known you and for as long as I've been in this business, so like even when you came into my mother's business that I was working at no point in time did you ever say, if you do this, this will happen, right? It was never like, I'll increase your sales by 100% or whatever nonsense. It was, if you do what I'm teaching you,
then it'll work.
Then it will work. If you don't, we're going to be back here in this exact same position. There's only one guarantee that you've ever given is, if it does not work, if you don't find any value in this, I'll give you your money back.
Yeah.
That's the only guarantee.
If you come to one of my courses and you can honestly, and you stay for the whole course, and you honestly come to me at the end and say, that was a crock of shit and I didn't get value, well, I'll refund your money 100%. Why? Because I don't want anyone sitting with me for 2 days or 5 days and then saying it was a waste of time. No problem.
Yeah.
But the other guarantee that we give is, I guarantee you, if you apply what I teach you in those courses, it will change where you're at.
Yeah.
Okay. It will change where you're at. But I'm not going to guarantee it's going to make you a multimillionaire in 3 weeks or in 3 months or in 3 years. Why? Because it all depends on where you're at, your level of learning, your little voice, your fears, your anxieties, your ability to apply. I mean, I can bring someone into a sales explosion. I'll teach you a sales funnel. I'll help you build a sales strategy. Well, the reality is if you need to go find 100 customers and phone 100 customers, well, you could do it in 100 days. You could do it in 10 days, or you could do it in 2 days. It's up to you.
Yeah.
Well, for the dude that does it in 2 days, he'll get much faster learning than the dude that does it in 100 days. So how are you going to apply it, and when are you going to apply it? Not how well are you informed. How are you going to take that information and put it into application? And that for me is the key. And I think a lot of people, the other thing in business education is, people say, oh, there's no silver bullet. You're right, there is no silver bullet. But damn, people are looking for silver bullets.
Yeah.
That's what they're looking for. They're looking for silver bullets, and they're looking for people who are like, oh, I want to have what that guy has. And they're not actually looking for the information to apply.
Oof.
They're not looking for the information to apply. I think in today's world, there's so much being lost because people look at someone and go, I want to have what they have, that they actually don't look at what they want to have and what they need to do to apply what they want to have.
And we've spoken about surgeons and this and that. It's anything in life, right? If I'm looking at you, I want to have what you have, you're a drug dealer. I got to do some things that I've got to apply the same things, right?
100%.
No, but I don't want to be a drug dealer that sells drugs.
You can't have what I have if you're not prepared to do what I do.
100%.
And if you're not prepared, importantly, to be who I am.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So what's your application? Yeah, I teach on flip charts. I have done for 19 years because that's what I learned from Blair Singer.
Yeah.
But how I teach now on flip charts compared to when I started 19 years ago, worlds apart. I have 90 years experience. I have a number of businesses under my belt. I have lots more experience of applying all the stuff. Mm-hmm. And I've utilized it in a room. I've worked with, my clients have grown from clients that my biggest clients when I first started were doing 10, 15 million rand a year turnover. Now I'm working with clients that do 1 billion to 2 billion rand and anywhere down from there. But what's that come through? The application, learning, applying. You know, that's why the YouTube formula is so powerful. I go back to Robert Kiyosaki's book, Rich Dad Poor Dad. People say, oh, Robert teaches property and da-da-da-da-da. And I go, great. Yeah, but that didn't really work for me. I go, okay, well, let me ask you one question. In Robert's book, Robert teaches go out and do 100 properties without buying one. Did you do that? Oh, no, but I went on this course. Did you do what he said they did? Because if you go do 100 properties and you do it all the way to the point of buying one without buying one, without signing all the docs and everything, and you understand the process, there's no ways you won't learn. Your learning will be monumental.
Yeah,
but people aren't prepared to do that because I think the other thing is we live in such a instant gratification world that we want it today. But it takes time and timing.
Yeah, it's funny, Nicole and I, the podcast we did, we were speaking about people's money mindsets and investing, and people don't want to, I mean, also from reading The Psychology of Money, people want to invest and they want the return on investment tomorrow. So I want to put in 1,000 rand today, and tomorrow I must get 2,000
or 10,000 or 50,000 or
work. Like, where do you ever? And we back the way I thought about it was we've become like you're saying, such an instant gratification society
100%.
that everything must happen now, right? That we've gotten to a point where you can now take a pill and drop 50 kilos.
Yeah, and then you find out that after you've taken that pill that it's going to kill you and that it's done shit to your liver and all that sort of stuff.
But I look good
for a bit of time. So and I think that's the problem with business education. Certainly, people want this silver bullet. They want this instant thing. Yeah. And the hard part is the application. I think that's instant gratification. I mean, I'm on a 20-week training program. Why? Because I decided I'm going to I'm going to do a half Ironman. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to do a half Ironman. Great. So I signed up for a 20-week training program. Well, guess what I'm doing? The 20-week training program. But I didn't pay for my ticket, my entry, and then tomorrow wake up and say, I'm ready to do a half Ironman. But that's what people think business is. And sales is. I walk in, you must buy because I want money. Cuck, man. You have to learn the process.
Yeah.
And I go back to it. Education is information put through a process of application over time that creates a transformation. But it's over time. It's again and again and again and again. And that's the learning. And that's the power in business education. That's why when we at the end of the year in October, when we do Create Your Future is an educational platform.
Yep.
It's 5 or 6 core African speakers. They're going to be teaching about the real things that grow business, grow money, grow mindset. And we're going to teach for 2 hours. And the core component is we are going to give you some stuff. We're going to do some stuff with you in a room. But the reality is it's going to be up to you to take what we teach and apply it. Okay? And we're not going to sell you any next fastest thing or the next fastest course or anything like that.
Sell you anything.
We're going to teach for 2 hours and then work with you so that you set yourself up to go and apply it. And after those 2 days of Create Your Future, the future that you create or that the people that come on that event create will be up to how much application they put and what time limit they're prepared to put on that application and do it again and again and again. And that's it. And I'm not going to stand on stage and sell them my next famous program that they can come. I'm going to spend 2 hours teaching them, and so are the other trainers. But again, why? Because what you're going to apply and how you're going to apply it. It's not a silver bullet, and there ain't any silver bullets, John. You want to do anything in life, you want to build a great physique, there's no silver bullet. You want to get you want to get healthy, there's no silver bullet. You want to make a lot of money, there's no silver bullet. You want to build a strong business, there's no silver bullet. You want to have a good marriage? You don't have a good marriage like, hey, tomorrow morning we signed up to this thing and gave us the 7 irrefutable laws on a great marriage, and now we are happily married for the rest of our friggin' life. You have to go back and apply it and go, oh shit, I didn't think it worked like that.
I misunderstood that piece.
So why would it be any different in business?
Ladies and gentlemen, if this is your first time watching, we hope you found value. We hope that you will return. Please don't forget to click that subscribe every week.
Bing! That's how it goes, isn't it?
It is.
A YouTube formula. Bing! I bet you you can go, bing! I know exactly what he's thinking.
Hopefully.
He's thinking, asshole.
No, for me, I'm like, I hope you hear that and it triggers you to just click it.
Even though there's many of you that watch this on a regular basis,
Yes.
and you haven't gone, bing!
That is so true.
Please go, bing.
Please. You guys watch this every single week when we put it out. It takes you less than 10 seconds. It costs you absolutely zero.
To go, bing! Bunch of idiots.
Your first step in business education. Bing. See you guys next week. Be awesome.
Bye.